actually commentated pretty much all but one start. So I would like to see Fire Rod to start.
Fire Rod's definitely an interesting one. It's really nice at the same time as it uses so much magic that you have to pretty much just manage your magic really well throughout the escape sequence.
Yeah, you gotta be pretty accurate with every hit that you do.
Of course, there are a lot of magic jars you can collect in the sewer section, so you should be able to have enough for that rat, no problem.
Ooh, early map check. It looked like a red pendant at Hera and the other two crystals.
Yep, very true.
There you go, your Samaria start.
See, I just always like it. Uses less magic, you can push the blocks into people. It's just nice to have.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Also can't complain about an early heart container either. Samaria has quite a lot of uses for the game itself. Of course, you can skip quite a few things, say like Ice Palace. You don't have to do Bomb Jump, you can use that instead. You need it for 2 dungeons, guaranteed. As well as for this escape sequence, using very minimal magic. It's just comes in handy.
It's also nice in dark rooms because, like you said, you can push the block around. You can see when it falls in holes. In case you don't have the lamp, kind of gives you a little guiding light if you don't have a sword to see the sword sparkles.
Yeah, that's very true. I haven't seen many people use it in that fashion, but there are a few that do happen to do that, and it's always interesting to see because all you see is just a block walking around the room.
I think most people who have gotten this far through the tournament probably have most of the dark rooms memorized and wouldn't need some sort of guide to get them through the areas.
Very true. Of course, there's always the one-off chance you get lost, but...
I get lost all the time.
So far, Escape is giving us upgrades, so we've had bomb upgrades and now an arrow upgrade.
No map yet, so there's still a chance that that could be in the sanctuary chest.
That's always the best outcome, I think. If you just make sure you haven't picked it up, then you don't need to open up the sync chest at the end.
Right, save a couple seconds time. Don't want to have to walk around that old guy.
Very true. Could just head for the door and away you go. Well, there's the small key for later on.
So, best scenario is to get another item or another key. Well, I guess you don't need another key at the Dark Cross, but pretty much items from here on out would be perfect.
Yeah. In the pool, there's 5 chests left, 4 of which are items. 1 is the map. So hopefully the map is in the very last one. Of course, they are still looking for bombs at this point in time.
Yeah, we could use like a 3-bomb drop or something like that from a chest wouldn't be bad. Or the fantastic 10 bombs that you would get when you get bomb start, that you could have enough through Kakariko, down through south part of the valley, all the way up to Ice Rod Cave if they head that way.
Very true. Interesting enough with that 10 bomb drop, if you were to get a bomb upgrade from Link's chest inside the house there, when your uncle would give you those 10 bombs, it would actually fill your capacity.
Well, that's not bad.
Definitely beats just having 10 bombs for the start.
True.
But on to the dark section we go. Fortunately enough, this will be lit up though.
Yeah, they do have, because it is standard mode, do have the lamp glow in front of them. Helps to farm up some of the bats and the rats inside to hopefully get that one bomb drop so that unless they find boots in Dark Cross, then they could bonk their way through the wall, but...
Right, exactly. And with saying that, needing bombs still, this light will always be here for this section, regardless of them coming back later or not. So if they don't find bombs, don't find the glove, it is an option to come back here. Speaking of bombs...
There are bombs, but not the bombs that we're looking for. Ampharos was able to pick one up.
Very true. Looks like fylion not worrying too much on grinding for it, but that will be a little bit of a lead for AmazingAmpharos. But now we say that, and it's going to be like heart pieces and rupees.
Yeah, since we know that there is a bomb that will drop from the pool, fylion just probably has to kill an extra rat here, maybe a couple bats.
Unfortunate on fylion side. Yeah. So, what do we get? Plastic shield, the map, and silver arrows.
Silver arrows.
Interesting. Wow. So fylion doesn't miss out on anything too much at this point in time. Silvers for later is fine. We'll end up coming back here late game, I'm sure. Like,
yeah.
By the time late game happens.
And there's the bombs.
Of course, the one thing you need, you get later.
The irony of the situation never fails to disappoint.
Alright, now, over the course of the Swiss stages, I've noticed that the standard route has shifted a little bit. Most people have stopped going up towards Lumberjack and just opted to going straight into the Lost Woods here.
It seems like the only time that they do is when they get early boots so that they can check the Lumberjack Cave just in case Aga acquired for that. That's the only time that I have noticed it.
Right, and AmazingAmpharos doing something a little different that I've seen is saving quitting, going straight for the dam area in the South Shore.
Oh, fylion gets the lamp.
Well, no more dark rooms then.
Yeah, and I do know in the last race that I think fylion went lampless through the whole run because it was the one thing in pod that I believe he left behind. So hopefully that's a relief to him to see early game.
I myself am not a fan of going lampless.
Me either. I can do Eastern Palace, and that's about it. It does also point to some Death Mountain logic once we get the gloves or the flute.
Very true.
Again and head up there as well.
Hopefully AmazingAmpharos has enough magic here. Should have enough.
Ooh. fylion finds a green goo and a mirror.
Very nice to find early on.
Yeah, especially the bottle while you're in Kakariko to do that sick kid check before having to head out and then come back later.
Alright, here in Mini Moldorm Cave we have 5 things to get. A red rupee, a shovel, a single arrow, a red rupee, and bomb upgrade.
Nice. Getting that shovel here when you can save and quit back to Link's house and do the dig spot before you head up to Kakariko Village on your way through checking maze game and stuff. It's not a bad pickup.
Yeah, that's true. It'd just be the alternate route that most people would take instead of going north to south. Do it the opposite.
Right.
No harm in that. It's definitely nice to find. I mean, getting a fetch quest out of the way early is, I'd say, a lot better than searching for an ice rod later and it not being at the fetch quest.
Yeah. And we did find the bow in the bottom of the whale, so that opens up Eastern. And once fylion heads back into the back of Escape and grabs those silvers, they'll be loaded up for Eastern Pod, Misery Mire, and a vanilla bottle from the bottle vendor.
Very, very interesting. I don't think I've seen bottles on the bottle vendor, but not an empty bottle.
Right.
So very, very nice find. So can check sick kid twice, right? That's how it works?
Yeah.
Double the bottles?
He
Only
give you
20
40
bucks.
bucks instead of 20 bucks.
If only. Of course, not needing rupees too much early right now, but finds the flippers. So I take back those words. Zora is in play.
Yeah, we need to do a houlihan or hope for a couple 300 rupee drops. Oh gosh, Ampharos finds the gloves
my.
in Big Spot.
Interesting. I was about to say we don't have access for Houlihan yet. Now we do.
Can't you do houlihan? Oh yeah, isn't
I
it
think
covered
it's
by a
just
bush
on...
to the right of the graveyard?
It is, yeah. Does it work there? I've never actually seen it.
Yep, that's where I do it at least. Just head to the
Interesting.
cave, jump into the water 3 times, and then drop down.
Interesting. No, I've never seen it there. I've only ever seen it in the graveyard itself, so the more you know.
Yes.
Oh. Sword in the library.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean boots are going to be required, because we got 3 other sword upgrades that we could find as well.
That's true, but if you say you have like Master Sword and you're heading off for Ganon, or at least the tower itself, it'd be pretty alright to stop by there first.
Yeah. So, as long as you have boots and they're not in Ganon's tower.
That's true. If they're in Ganon's tower, there's no point. You'd be spending a lot of time.
All right, new check here in Sahasrarla's cave in the back. Some money for Zora.
Quick $90.
Yeah. This looks like Fylion will probably go over into Eastern, knowing that it's a crystal. Actually, I don't know if he's done a map check yet, but we know it's a crystal. That at least it's full clearable for him. He has the lamp, he's got the bow, it's all in logic.
Very true. Unfortunately, no arrows, but we'll most likely find some in some pots in there.
Yeah.
AmazingAmpharos getting that 20 bucks for themselves.
And then he'll be heading over to do the well. He'll get his bottle and then dip into Blind's hut to get his mirror as well.
Overall, the starting items are very nice, I'd say. I thoroughly enjoy finding mirror early. Just helps so much in dungeon routing. As well as when you eventually get dark rolled, it's just handy.
So once Ampharos heads up through the Lost Woods and grab his lamp, not that he necessarily needs it, but I expect that he'll probably head up there. Do you think that he will make the play on Death Mountain since he's got his gloves already? The logic kind of seems to be pointing that way, if not to Eastern with the bow.
Right. I can say yes as well as no. You are right there, so you're right next to it. So it seems logical to do so, but at the same time, you have access to Pendant Hera, and that's pretty much all you can do. You get the Old Man item, Spectacle Rock items. I mean, it is good to get the items out of Hera, but at the same time... Wow.
I was just about to say, maybe they could find the hammer somewhere up on Spectacle Rock that gets them past Hera, but that's not where the hammer is going to be.
If the hammer Fylion had, 100% Death Mountain's the play.
Yeah. As soon as Fylion heads down to Mini Moldorm, grabs his shovel, and finds his glove, then Death Mountain is the play. Definitely seems like logic is pointing to Eastern first with the bow and the lamp to get your hammer, to then go up Death Mountain once you get your gloves.
I can definitely agree on that. just having so much power early, having that hammer, having bow and everything, able to finish dungeons early on.
All right. One more item here before Armos. Well, one more chest. Might not be an item.
Ooh, blue mail.
It's not bad. Definitely nice to have before going into the dark world.
Very true. Just having the extra defenses will help immensely for early dark world.
Well, for anything, but especially for early dark world. fylion grabbing the extra money because he knows that Zora is going to probably need to get checked. Ampharos picking up his $90 there in Sahashal's hut.
And we'll most likely do the same play here, head off into Eastern. Overall, Eastern being a very fast dungeon to knock out of the way as well.
Yeah. So Ampharos will have a little bit of an easier time with Armos simply because he has the silver arrows, and 1 arrow per night will finish them off. And fylion has to do 3 arrows per night, so...
Right, and that'll go with the mimics there too. fylion had to sink 2 arrows in per mimic, and AmazingAmpharos will only have to do 1.
Setting up the quick kill though. Gets
Very
it.
nice.
Nice.
And that's a crystal in phylion's name.
First crystal of the game. Ampharos heading over to the left side of Eastern. He'll be picking up his hammer in just a moment.
Alright, now I expect fylion to do the South Shore checks at this point in time.
Yes. I don't remember. Did Ampharos go over to the Ice Rod Cave?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember what was in it, but yes.
I kind of feel like I remember being in a blue room and picking up a blue item like 3 bombs.
That would make sense. I'm sure chat would point it out.
Carissa in chat, Bo was in the bottom of the well. fylion gets to use the mirror at the dam, so he gets to check the chest and open the floodgates all in one run.
It's definitely a nice time save there. I mean, it's not too much. It's a couple seconds, but overall, it's nice to have. Opting to pick up those 10 arrows. Oh, the Divergent going to Agina.
See, this is the play that I always make, and everybody always says, you never go check Agina's cave in desert unless you have the boots. And I'm like, or the flute, you know. But I always do it because I never want that question in my mind, like, what did I leave there?
Right. I mean, it's the what if scenarios, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It'll never pay off until it does.
For me, it has a couple times, but, you know, like I was going to say, never in a tournament race because I just don't do them. Well,
10 bombs.
The 10 bombs.
So that 10 bombs would have been one of our starting 7 weapons.
Yeah.
Alright, now Phylion's gonna head on over to Mini Moldorm Cave. We'll gain access to Death Mountain shortly. Of course, we'll have to go and dig a hole first.
Just one. Ampharos just getting ready to head into Armos Nights, and he'll be picking up his first crystal as well. Oh, fylion trying out bombs and arrows.
At the same time?
Yeah. Really accurate shots with that bow. And Ampharos gets his crystal.
Alright, I have a request for VTorp. Can you put bomb arrows in the game?
Yeah! That's a thing. Or bomb chews.
That would be an interesting one. I wonder how that would work in a top-down scenario.
Silvers were in the dig spot, which fylion just got the shovel for.
No, silvers were an escape.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking gloves. I'm like so set on gloves right now.
Yeah, gloves are in dig spot. But yeah, silvers
Yes.
are in the back of escape, which fylion did not have bombs for.
Thank you, Kirstaether and chat for correcting me.
No problems. fylion saying no to the crabs, but getting stuck with them anyways.
Don't get hit. Okay, good.
I think they were able to tank one more hit just to do that blue mail,
Oh,
but it would
right,
have been
yeah,
tight.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't a blue item, it was a red
Yeah.
item, but still not anything too significant.
Ampharos making that Death Mountain play. It's nice that they have the mirror, like we said, and hammer to go through all of Death Mountain while they're up there. Boots would be
Right.
great for Spiral Cave. And Titan's Mitts would be even better to check Turtle Rock.
Well, there's our third bottle, the old man holding it in a
And-
cave.
I mean, you summoned the B-Torp, and there he is. Hopefully that's the game's way of saying your wish shall be granted, and we'll get bomb arrows soon.
I just feel it's unlikely, but it would be hopeful, right? I mean, who doesn't like explosives that you can shoot?
I don't know anybody who doesn't like explosives. That you can shoot them across the room is even better.
Alright, so AmazingAmpharos is gonna head off into Hera, I presume. fylion just a few rupees short of Zora, so maybe those will turn up here?
Yeah, he can check the Waterfall Ferry, see if there's a couple $20 in there, or maybe, fortunately, a 300 rupee, 100 rupee drop.
Alright, so green pendant on Thieves Town. I saw a red crystal on Pod, but that is all I caught. Very fast map check, so I'll have to wait for fylion to get another one.
Didn't look like there was very much a heart container in Waterfall Ferry, and I missed the other item.
Oh, 2 rupees short. Murder everything, quick.
Kill
Of course,
all
nothing
the
drops
things. He's still got some Zoras that he could work on.
Oh my, just getting everything but rupees at this point. And so far, no coffee break for AmazingAmpharos. Able to go up the tower. Well, there's the key for it.
Yeah, there's a small key. Bombs on the ledge. One rupee.
short. It'll be exactly 500, won't it? Oh, arrows.
5 bomb upgrade in the big chest at Hera.
There we go.
500!
Just enough.
Hopefully it's worth it. Come on, Zora, don't break my heart.
It's gonna be 1 rupee.
20?
I mean, I'm pretty close compared to the 500 it required.
Right. Well, at least he doesn't have to worry about that. You know, no longer a question in his mind. What is Azora's? And Ampharos picking up his red pendant from Moldorm. Is the last item in the basement? I was paying too much attention to the rupee farm.
I wasn't paying attention to where the compass was. So we'll see if they decide to go in again. Yes.
Yep.
Alright, and fylion now has the gloves for themselves. I would expect them to check the back of Escape quick before heading up the mountain.
Yeah.
But really personal preference at that point in time. No coffee break.
Cane of Samaria, it's pretty easy to set up, but
That's true. I mean, this keeps your fingers active, I guess.
yeah. Idle hands, you know? You know what they say.
I think it was chat that wanted the coffee break the most. fylion getting that plastic shield as well as the silver arrows for themselves.
Alright, what is in the basement? Oh my gosh! Super Bunny Cave.
Nice find.
Super Bunny Cave. Here we go. It's pretty much all they'll be able to do besides check the Turtle Rock Medallion in Dark World up here on the hill. So, damn mitts though. Wow.
Right,
Didn't I say?
So we now have our Dark World access other than the Pearl. So that could be anywhere still.
Could be right here in Spiral Cave.
It always feels bad doing Spiral Cave without boots.
I know.
it's not that
it's like the slowest cave ever.
Yeah.
If not boots, then at least hookshot, because that's so much easier to kill both the mini Moldorms and the stupid paras. Like the berries are so bad. No Moon Pearl in Spiral, but we still got 7 chests in Paradox Cave to check.
I was almost waiting for the Pearl to show up there in Spiral. Seems to be how it goes so far this seed.
Alright, so Phylion's going to be heading over, taking that portal, and into Hera he shall go. Who would ever be crazy enough to think if they get an early key in Tower of Hera and there's a 50-50 chance that there's a dungeon item in the basement or a dungeon item on Moldorm, to go to the basement and skip Moldorm?
Not sure.
I don't know if there's like something in logic. Probably not. I mean, it really probably at that point just a 50.
Oh, hi, Moon Pearl.
Moon Pearl!
So now we can do the Dark World check here. So fylion did a map check for us. Of course, our amazing tracker already had it filled out. So the other red crystal was on Ice Palace, and Swamp had the other pendant.
Great. Why did I have to say something about Moon Pearl being in Paradox Cave?
Just so happened to show up. I mean, I'd say that's a very helpful location since you're already here.
True. Very, very fortunate. The logic was already sending them this way, but...
You can get information on that fantastic green pendant.
Alright, so Phylion's going to check his big chest here in Hera. And a bug net. The swaggy net.
Oh yeah, Aghanim is dead unless there's an item in Lumberjack. Just for those in chat wondering. Or should I say he's alive, because we're not killing him.
Unless we wanna. Just kidding.
That's true. I mean, that's a good 7-minute time loss, but sure.
So Fylion is going to kill Moldorm. Who knows? I mean, it could be a pedestal seed. 3 easy hits with the hammer. Moldorm's down.
I mean, when you're up the tower to this point, I think you just clear it, because if you were to walk all the way down and have that be the dungeon item, that would suck.
Mushroom boots?
Oh, mushroom boots? Interesting.
It's an alright hype cave. You don't necessarily have to walk all the way down here, because you can
That's
just jump
true.
down some holes.
I mean, they also
Easy.
have mirrors, so I guess they could just teleport.
Yeah. True.
But then they'd have to go all the way back up if it happens to be, like, the map. Plus, I mean, tile room.
I just realized that Ampharos never checked TR. We don't know what medallion it was, do we?
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I guess probably thinking, no hook shot, don't go up to the top of the mountain, you don't need to go there.
That's true. Of course, it's pendant. You don't necessarily need it yet anyways. Gets a nice life refill, though.
Chat just pointed out something that I completely forgot. Fylion didn't check the basement.
Oh. Gambling
no.
on it being a useless item.
Oh no, oh no. No.
Unfortunate. But it happens. I mean, a lot of people gamble that item and have to come back later. At least it's not hard to get there.
A couple times, but more often than not. Like, my heart hurts now. At least he'll get his moon pearl and he can do some Dark World stuff, but
Well, we have access to our first sword as well. In the library, whenever that gets routed in.
I think Phylion's probably just gonna save and quit after he opens this chest. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you're given Dark World access there with that pearl, so...
Yeah.
Thieves Town play, or... I would expect that to be it.
Nobody's turned in the mushroom yet. With the mirror, you could check Magic Bat, because you got Samaria.
True. Very true. Of course, Fylion doesn't have a mushroom just yet, but whenever they route in Hype Cave there, we'll be able to pick that up. As for now, AmazingAmpharos heading on into Pod, fully completable dungeon.
Yep, logic dictates that this is the place to go next.
There's lots of items, other places you can go as well, but at the same time, it's... If you're able to complete a dungeon, you might as well get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I'd say it's almost even better to get out of the way now, since you already have, like, Eastern done, so you don't have to combo it in with anything.
Yeah. Mirror and finish it up.
Looks like Phylion's gonna head on into Skullwoods though. 2 items to be held here, and unless it's a fire rod, we won't be progressing even further.
He still needs a sword too.
That's very true.
Ooh, Ampharos picks up Bombos. Flippers, Titans, Bombos. How much do people want to do a hammer cold stare?
That doesn't sound enjoyable. Not one bit.
You know chat wants to see it though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, chat wants to see everything.
Chat wants to see everything that hurts the soul.
Alright, off to the back end of pod we go. We'll see if Fylion picks up anything here noteworthy. Just money.
Oh, yes, chat also pointing out that you would need a sword for Ice Palace as well, because you can't use medallions without that, so.
I mean, there is a sword available, so it is still an option.
Fylion looks to be heading up to check Bumper Cave. With Mirror, he can route in Graveyard Ledge. If he had checked Basement. Oh, he still can't do King's Tomb without boots yet.
Yes, exactly. But can get a check out of the way here. So whenever they have boots, they can just go from Sanctuary. Quick check.
Yep. Ampharos has plenty of keys. Probably doesn't need to do a hammer yamp this run. And he did pick up the big key earlier, so probably do a quick dip into Dark Maze and then head on up with the mirror towards Helmsar.
The Dongo's just getting in the way.
It might be planning a death warp?
It's always possible. I mean, it'd be a nice health refill.
And I missed the first check, but it looks like Graveyard Ledge only had a piece of heart.
Yep. So everything comes back to Hera, I feel.
Yeah, there wasn't very much in pod, so...
So at this point, maybe those Titans aren't going to stop Fylion too much. Thieves Town is looking like the next best place to go.
Yeah, and it looks like he's at least heading towards Village of Outcasts, so he'll do probably chest game, C-shaped house, brewery, and then head into Thieves Town. Though, Thieves Town without a sword. I guess you have Cane, but...
Both Cane and Hammer. I mean, it's doable. But it's never fun.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't try it. Nah, he didn't even check chest game or brewery yet, so... Guess there's a little bit more item density here in the first little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dungeon you have to complete as well, so with 4 items a crystal, it's worth it.
And it looks like Helmsar will hold our last item for pod, as we have all dungeon items.
So I believe it's actually faster. I know a lot of people like to hold their sword out whilst doing Helmsar. Of course, we don't have a sword, but I believe it's actually faster to not hold your sword out. It's just a lot riskier.
Yeah, safer precaution to have the sword be able to push you back if you get too close or if he walks into you.
Right, exactly.
Can you actually hammer dash through the turtles?
I believe so, but without a sword, you'll just bonk.
True.
Alright, 17 smashes to the faceplate will break it. Of course, you could also use 3 bombs, but with how fast Helmasaur can move around, it's not gonna happen.
And
one
that
silver
single
does the trick.
arrow. Yep. Red mail. First dungeon in Dark World. Not a bad pickup.
Yeah, when you're just handed red mail, you definitely can't complain about it. It's just nice to have. I'm sure none of these runners necessarily need it, but I mean, for me anyways, I need it.
It looks like they're only running on 9 or 10 hearts each, so red mail definitely still helps. Plus, I love the purple hat.
Alright, now we're gonna get our Bonk Rock checks. Probably the King's Tome as well. Just 5 rupees inside of the Bonk Rocks. And I've not seen anything noteworthy inside of Thieves Town yet for fylion.
Yeah, me either. Seems pretty dry.
Overall, gets a crystal out of here, so definitely worth it to do this play.
Meow. Meow.
Boots definitely coming in very handy. Oh, here we go. Fake powder.
In the fake powder play.
Alright,
Burn
so
some mana.
for those that don't know, if you are to use Canis Maria with having no magic, and then instantly menu over to the mushroom, it'll actually use the powder.
I made this mistake of trying this the other day with Fire Rod. It doesn't work with Fire Rod.
Fire Rod's good to burn the magic, though.
Yeah. Only 3 bombs from the magic bat, so. Alright, doesn't look like there's very much in Thieves Town for fylion, but he was able to check that big chest since he does have the hammer, so no question about what could have been left there.
Right. Not coming back is always a good way to go about it.
But he still has to go back to Hera.
That's for him to find out.
I know.
Unfortunate, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna necessarily hurt too bad. It's a very quick route up to Hera, so whenever they opt to going back. But we'll need that Titan's Mints for both Ice Palace as well as Misery Mire.
Yep. And Turtle Rock, if there's anything in there, or behind the green pendant, or...
True.
Nice. fylion did get a hammer strat blind.
Very nice fight. Gets a heart piece out of it, though, as well as a crystal.
Ampharos checking the brewery here. Just 10 arrows. You played the chess game, too. Was there anything there, right?
Nothing noteworthy.
Okay. So we're going to get a blacksmith check after he does the big game. Or after he checks Stumpy and South Grove game.
This would be so that when AmazingAmpharos does the chest, they can just save and quit and go to Link's house.
Ooh. A red shield to match his red shirt. And his red boots. He's so fancy.
All we're missing now is that red sword.
Hey, you're right. Or a sword.
A sword, yeah. And there's our fourth bottle.
The B-Torp number 2.
Sorry, you're being left behind.
Bye, B. So how's this gonna work? Gonna do dig game real quick. Pick up the frog. Maybe mirror. Grab the sword from library. Go back to the dark world. Do hammer pegs. Turn in the frog. Go back to the mirror. Pick up the purple chest and then turn that in.
Right, that's how I see it as well. And these earlier on checks is just so that you can save and quit and you can get to the turn-in faster. Oh, they're both in dig game. Who will find it first? I don't know who started first.
Oh, Ampharos. You can see the seconds on, fylion, only a couple seconds behind.
I was not paying attention to the seconds, unfortunately. It's just, I was trying to count how many digs each of them had. I'm like, who's in the lead?
Yeah, that was definitely a dig high five, as chat said. He is getting the sword from library.
Ooh.
Is fylion gonna pick up B number 2? Nope.
Nope.
Sorry, B-Torp.
Not allowed to join this gang of misfits. The frog and Link. Nope, not happening. fylion also having a nice red shield, but unfortunately does not have the red mail yet to match, but we'll get it eventually.
Yeah, he'll get there. He's heading over towards Hype Cave, though. He'll get his boots.
Right, so something interesting. If AmazingAmpharos was to not get that sword, you wouldn't be able to do these peg caves like this. You'd have to do it singly, because you'd bonk on each peg. But we do find a flute, which is very handy. So that'll pretty much negate having to save and quit with the purple chest.
Yeah, well, once you pick up the purple chest, and then you walk over and mirror and activate the flute, then you can fly to 7 and walk it over. It's a little faster than saving and quitting.
Very true.
So, I mean, you still have to take the time to fly over and activate the flute, so... And fylion is in gotta go fast mode. Meow.
Boots, definitely a nice thing to have. Speeds things up quite immensely, as we've seen on AmazingAmpharos' side.
Yep.
And without hesitation, fylion going into pod. Fake powder has actually already been done for that. The person asking in chat. They did it earlier.
Yep, Ampharos checked 3 bombs, right?
Correct.
Everybody stand for the anthem.
You may now be seated.
Thank you.
Alright, so now with having flute, so many things have opened up, as well as making the checks that we haven't done already a lot faster.
Yeah. Mushroom check, Misery Mire medallion check, plus Shack and with Mirror checkerboard cave, which then would free up Ampharos to check Agina and Desert. Bookless Desert, even.
Right, exactly. I mean, Desert is fully completable at this point in time. Mire, if it's Bombos, is completable.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are available.
And Mire with bow and silvers, super quick.
Very true. So Ice Palace is also accessible, although depending on how the keys are laid out would determine whether or not you need the hookshot. Of course, bomb jumps are available, so it is completable in a sense. But we do need Fire Rod at some point.
Yeah, for that Skull Woods. Drat that Mothula.
A lot of people have been asking if maybe VTorp can code in the Bugnet to one-shot Mothula. Seems fitting in my books, but...
Yeah. Or, you know, like maybe 3 or 4 shot, like... Hello.
It is a very slow weapon, so I can agree on that.
Yeah, and like you have to hit it at a specific time, not in spikes, not towards spikes, like through the middle of the room, and it fills your bottle, an empty bottle, with a random something, kind of throwing it in the waterfall fairy.
Not fill it with a Mothula?
I mean, what could you do with a Mothula? Release it on Ganon?
Throw it in a room with blind or something?
That would be amazing.
Although I think you'd end up fighting 2 bosses at once, unfortunately.
Right. Like, let him kill Blind, and then you still have to fight Mothula. And at that point, he becomes immune to net capture.
Right. I think it would be a lot easier to fight Mothula in a different boss room, though.
Unless the heads of blinds are spinning around and shooting fireballs at you while you're trying to kill Mothula.
That's true. I think that would be a little more annoying than spikes.
Alright, so as these players are going through areas that they both have already completed, let's talk about the potentials of what could be a lumberjack, what could be on the pedestal.
A lot of things.
How bad
Fire
do we
Rod.
want to make this?
Well, Hookshot is not there.
Yeah.
Fire Rod can be. Oh
Fire
no, Fire Rod
Rod
can't
cannot be on the
Cannot
pedestal or the the ice rod, but Hookshot could be. No, Swamp Palace. Dang it.
I mean, Hookshot could be in Swamp or in TR. I mean, I think at this point in time, the only thing we need is the medallion for Meyer. So,
Or potentially a book for
Very
something
true.
on a tablet.
right. So at this point, unless it's Meyer needing Ether or Quake, then we've got pretty much everything we need.
Yeah.
Pre-PED, anyways. Of course, we don't know what is on it because we don't have book, but
Right.
we shall find out. Time for Ampharos's blind fight. Blind talking about cheesy pizza.
You know, maybe I'm just not like very good at pizza, but I don't like a lot of sauce. I don't like a lot of cheese. I have other toppings.
You monster. I'm kidding.
I don't even like barbecue sauce, so I'm used to hearing that. Super quick blind kill to the book.
Yeah.
Ampharos finishes it up.
Gets another crystal in their name. So that's now 3.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like we're
And-
that far into the seed, but we are quite a ways in.
Yeah. Fylion will be following suit shortly with his 3rd crystal from Helmasaur. Ampharos heading to where?
Right, if this is Bombos, AmazingAmpharos can do both Mire and Desert at the same time.
Quake!
But it's Quake.
It's Quack Pool. You gotta have your rubber ducky to swim in the pool.
I think Quake is one of the most unfortunate ones to have it as.
Unless
Just
it's
due
right
to...
now.
Oh, a Fire Rod. It's not Quake, but it's a Fire Rod.
No.
I always find Quake the most unfortunate one, because when that murder dactyl is coming at you, Quake does not hurt it.
No, it doesn't do anything because it's in the air. Coincidentally, Ice Rod opens up Ice Palace and Skull Woods.
Ice Rod, you say?
Yeah. Fire Rod.
The Vice Rod.
Yeah, it's a Ice Rod. I was thinking about talking about Ice Palace, so I said Ice Rod. My bad.
No, but you are correct. The rod that they obtained does get them into the place they need.
Flute was in Hammer Pegs. Oh.
Alright. Phylion's eyes have turned red in anger. Where are they going to go next? With walking, this could be a potential catfish.
I don't think he checked Pyramid Ledge either, so...
Okay, that'd be nice to route them in together.
Yeah.
Alright, AmazingAmpharos already going to the back end of Desert. Very fast dungeon.
Yeah. Because he's got that meow.
Clearly the Fire Rod was in Fire Palace. The Mire Shed is now confirmed Fire Palace. All
Well,
right,
I mean...
I'll jump on board.
That makes sense, because you need that. Though, I mean... If you're talking about...
Fizzery Fire.
When you're talking about, like, a fiery object... Mothula does shoot out, like, rings of fire. Is he a fiery flea? Who requires Fire Rod to get to him?
I think Mothula is just an angry bug because you're, like, burning his home down.
What? I love bugs. I love all bugs. I don't even kill spiders when they're in my house. There are no angry bugs. All bugs love everything. Except mosquitoes. They deserve to die in a fire. A fiery flea fire. AmazingAmpharos finishes up Desert Palace.
Alright, another crystal in the books. And off to Checkerboard Cave. Where's Fylion heading up to Catfish? Now, will Fylion feed the fish a skull or some grass? That's my question.
A flower! Although, also, Fylion did turn in the mushroom. It was only 3 bombs.
Right. The grass throw. Amazing.
Give him a flower. It's so cute.
I've always considered the catfish here to be a vegetarian, so always throw the plant.
I always feel like he lives in a really desolate pool of sadness and darkness, so I always throw the flower at him so that he can have some happiness once in a while.
Alright, AmazingAmpharos finding that 10-bomb drop. Now, it'll be interesting to see where they decide to head off to next. Of course, having Fire Rod, Skullwoods is now looking more and more like the play to make. Of course,
Especially
Ice
because
Palace...
he has a sword.
Right. Ice Palace is also open to them.
What would you do? Because Ice Palace is a 5/6 crystal that opens up the Pyramid Fairy.
I think I would avoid ice for now until it's a must. I need to go there. Of course, that would be pretty much you do Skullwoods first and then head there.
Right.
Everybody
if you likes the mode ice.
Exactly. If you find
wait,
elsewhere.
What did Fylion see?
I didn't see it. I'll see it on the second check.
Yeah.
Arrow upgrade.
Ah. Bye-bye, Aga. You get to live another day. At least the first version of you.
It will only kill you once. You're welcome. twice, I guess, because there's 2 people.
Is this when we sing the "Hey, it's okay, no problem, you're welcome" song?
I don't know that song.
From Moana?
I have never seen Moana.
Oh, well. It's
unfortunate.
It's yeah, I'm a big Disney Pixar fan, so.
Oh, I am too. I just, for some reason, have not seen it.
Alright,
The
Ampharos giving us a check on to Mothula here. fylion heading into Skullwoods again.
Maybe think they missed something? I don't know. But they were here.
Yeah. Question mark?
Unless this is just their path. Oh, because they don't have Titan's Myth. This is faster to get.
Yeah, I see. Without sword, he can't dash through because he forgets the sword at library.
Right. So this is for Graveyard Ledge?
Yeah.
No, King's Tomb.
Ah, yes. King's Tomb with the boots.
Yeah, I think they actually already did the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, and just like that, AmazingAmpharos finishes off Mothula. Oh, Quake! Oh my goodness.
Meyer! He hasn't got the flute yet, though.
That's true.
Because he doesn't have Titan's minutes to get to Dark World Blacksmith.
Right, so...
I'm gonna cry.
We're missing Hookshot for our commentator no mode.
Yeah.
But it is a possibility it can be in Mire, Ice, Skullwoods. So, who knows?
Yeah.
It could
Or
be... Could be in TR.
In the Skullwoods big chest that Ampharos is looking to go open right now. He did a really good fight with Mothula, by the way, but
yeah,
I got super hype over that Quake medallion, and I feel bad. Or maybe he won't open big chest now that he got the second item. I think that's what he was looking for. And let's see what Swamp has for us. The first chest, of course, in standard, non-key sanity mode, will always be the key to get through that first door.
Yeah. It's always nice to go mode swamp, just because you only have to open up that one chest, but of course, with it being a pendant, you're not looking to go mode this. You're looking to just get an item out of here.
So, Ampharos went straight to the back of Skullwoods. He didn't open anything, so there is an item in big chest. That's a bold play, I feel. I've noticed
a lot more players are opting to go straight for Mothula. If you're not going to save and quit or flute away, you have to come back through here anyways.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's preference, I think.
And at the end of the day, it was just a little bit of love.
Alright, now I'm assuming we'll get the Bumper Cave check here, of course, being here, and the Lumberjack check here.
So, once you get Flute and Titans, Mire is fully clearable.
Right.
And we have everything we need to finish Ice Palace.
Correct. Other than Hookshot, but I mean, it's not really needed. Yeah, Pet is dead at this point in time.
No Aga, no Pet.
Rip chat. I'm wondering when Phylion's gonna get their first sword.
Yeah,
hour
he
and
needs
4
to
minutes in.
remember library and Hera basement. And then he needs a hug.
Right.
A really, really big hug.
The seed keeps dishing out more and more items, so it doesn't stop fylion in his tracks. So
Yeah.
whenever that finally happens is when they will go back to get those titans.
Yes, Flute's armament's locked because you can't get to the blacksmith area. Blacksmith hammer pegs had the flute. And Ampharos is about to find the medallion he needs for Misery Mire. And then we'll go mode Ice Palace. And unless he dies like 18 times to Ganon.
Right. I mean, we're still in search for a second sword at some point in time.
True. But, I mean, you got 2 dungeons to go through.
Very true.
It's a good odd that one of them will be somewhere.
5 items. 5 items between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
7 if you include the Pyramid Fairy.
Let's see if fylion gets lucky enough to find one in Swamp. Maybe?
It's always
Yeah,
a
we haven't
possibility.
checked Pyramid too. Oh, hookshot for Swamp Palace. Yeah, you guys are right. Wait. We don't have to do hookshot.
Hookshot's always required, just due to
Oh,
hookshotting
Moldorm
across
2.
at Moldorm 2.
Yeah. It's kind of like forgetting that bow is required for Ganon's Tower. Because of stupid mimics. Or...
AmazingAmpharos forgot to do a screen transition first. Just walked in and was like, okay, pay me for the mushroom.
Does a mirror transition work?
Yes.
I had no idea.
I'm not sure if it's faster or not, just due to how long it takes to mirror, but I noticed a lot of people do that instead of walking off screen. I'm very intrigued as to where these other swords are.
Well, not in the big chest of Swamp. Oh, and fylion just leaves.
Doesn't have hookshot, cannot go further.
Why do you have to be right? Dang it.
When I'm right, I'm right. I don't know.
I mean, when logic says that that's how it goes. Why do I keep thinking we have hookshot? Man.
I mean, we don't need it at all if they know the bomb jumps in ice.
Right.
Until the very end of the game. We'll use it once.
Yeah. So that's probably what Ampharos is doing right now, is searching for that hookshot. Fylion's gonna get a sword!
Oh, here we go.
Yay!
An hour, 8 minutes, and 3 seconds. fylion has a rubber sword.
Yeah, it's like those collapsible swords that they use in plays.
The ones where if you were to like stab someone, it like retracts so it looks like it actually did something.
But it never actually passes through somebody. Is he going back to Hera? Or is he...
Yes? Question mark?
He didn't leave anything behind other than Hera, so... Or is he thinking Spike Cave? Can't do.
Oh.
fylion, you got it!
There we go. Awesome. So maybe we'll get our coffee break after all. This is for AmazingAmpharos heading off for Mire.
So, I mean, what's to say hookshot's not in Turtle Rock? And ether required for Turtle Rock. And ether's on pedestal. Pedestal's not... Oh, yes, it is dead because Turtle Rock is dependent.
Correct.
Shoot.
I mean, the pedestal could hold, like, the powder to block those 3 bombs or something.
Yeah.
Or the cape. Or Burna. Or the book.
Yeah.
Just not what we need. Oh yeah, we have a coffee break going on. It's almost over, actually.
Yeah, but we're also looking at a dungeon with Ampharos, so we're all into his strategy for killing the wizrobes in that room.
Very fast indeed.
Does he go bridge or spike room first?
I'm always a fan of bridge first. Otherwise you have to... I mean, if you find the big key in that room over there, it's very fast to do. But if you don't, then you come back this way so you can check the bridge afterwards.
But we're not go mode yet, so...
That's true.
You're not really looking for God mode Mire. You're looking for everything.
Yeah. I mean, what if Hookshot's in this chest right here?
What if Hookshot is behind green pendant? Because you don't have to have Hookshot for Turtle Rock, right?
Yeah, that is true. You don't need it. Oh.
And we're gonna find out the medallion?
Ether. Okay, can't go in there. Good. It's always nice when it's the medallion you don't have.
Yeah.
So that you don't go in.
Yeah, and since fylion hasn't picked up Fire Rod yet from Mire Shed, then it's even less of an incentive to go in. Because, yeah, even if you don't have Hookshot, you can't clear the right side to get a key you might need.
Alright. Heart piece for the first item in Mire. 1 left to go.
Ooh, finally I'm making the play that Hookshot could be the first chest here.
That is definitely a possibility. Due to bonking being a legitimate thing, it was intended by the original developers of the game, so...
Alright. Ampharos found the big key.
Oh my goodness.
Wow! Holy cow!
And a riot shield.
Paid off.
That's incredible. Interesting.
Oh my gosh. Is that going to make the whole difference? How long do you think Ampharos is going to wait to do that? Is he going to like full clear Ice Palace thinking that it could be in there and...
Yes, I would expect...
Potentially go mode all of that?
Yeah, I would expect Ampharos to full clear Ice. And if you don't find it there, then you're going to spend your time looking again as tower. But with having Spike Cave on, or not Spike Cave, Hookshot Cave on the way to Ganna's Tower, I guarantee that'll be checked before Ganna's Tower.
Craziness.
Oh, Phylion's heading back for Swamp. No? Where are we going? I'm lost. Ice?
He's probably heading straight to Ice.
Yeah, okay.
Mirroring? Alright, you have to mirror to get to Ice.
It was always my least favorite dungeon because you can't get out without mirroring. You also can't get in without being in the light world. So is it really a dark world dungeon?
I mean, you have to get a certain amount of required items in order to enter into the world to get to it. You don't have any other way to, like, you can't hop over the fence, you know? You can't use Hookshot to, like, propel yourself over the wall.
Alright, Ampharos doing a very nice zero cycle there on Vitreous.
Yeah, that was really clean.
1 dungeon left.
We're gonna get a high 5 Ice Palace going here? Oh, big key early. That's a nice find. We are getting a synchronized Ice Palace in a second. Both still with Master Sword, so let's don't forget that, or with the Fighter Sword, so we still have to get to at least Master Sword, is what I was trying to get at. Like, finding the Ice Rod and, you know, Ice Palace.
Unfortunately, the fighter sword does not deal damage to Ganon. So we'll see if another sword decides to show itself. Fylion opting not to.
Yep. He knows he's got some area.
Right, I mean, you're looking to full clear the dungeon, so with Samaria, it's no need to do the bomb jump at all.
Yeah. Save some time setting up that bomb jump. Potential fail. Why worry about it? Just go, go, go! No.
Ampharos opting for bomb strats here.
Because he doesn't have the hook shot yet.
That's true.
Wow.
No hook shot, fighter sword. I can jump on board with the bombs.
Yep.
Speaking of a master sword, Fylion now has it.
Dun 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 dun!
I don't think that was as hype as the pedestal sound.
You're right. But he did a nice clip with the hook shot through that first block. Opening up the big chest quite quickly.
Alright. What else will be located within Ice Palace?
Oh, Ampharos takes the clip.
Misses the dash bonk into the wall due to grabbing it by accident.
So the main difference here at this point between the runners is the fire rod.
I suppose so. A couple crystals, but
the flute.
Yeah.
Flute and fire rod.
Right now, I don't know if.
Ooh, that was a sink heart.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is technically a hook-locked dungeon. Just due to the way the keys are laid out, I'm not sure if the logic would require you to mirror out ever. So, pretty sure it's hook-locked.
I'm sure that Ampharos would know that too.
Right. So I believe at this point you would not have a chance of finding hookshot this far in, unless like I'm wrong on the logic there.
Somebody in chat just said hookshot could be an iced tea room.
Right.
Because of the amount of keys I think you have at that point, that you could go right in the spike ball room instead of heading left towards the big chest.
Right.
Area.
Well, they had no keys at that point in time, so that's what I was mentioning, like mirroring or like a double dip kind of thing. You could go back, so it is possible, I guess. That's what they're saying. Yeah, because it would just be a double dip technically. All right.
So we're
here is your hammer.
No.
Hammer colds there.
I feel bad saying that now.
It's all your fault.
It is. Commentary correct.
You mentioned it an hour ago, and now we get it.
Still better than the Master Sword, though.
That is true. Dealing temperate sword damage, so.
Nice.
Although,
Fylion gets it done.
fylion, or not fylion, AmazingAmpharos has Fire Rod, so...
Yeah, he does have that little bit of an advantage, but... Oh, he did get potions. Oh, not gonna use them.
Yeah, had dealt so much damage to Cold Stare at this point in time. Worth it to just hit. Oh... One more?
Is it though? Oh!
One more. Gonna be safe. Gonna be safe. Okay. Ooh.
Safeties.
And there it is. Okay. Alright, with that, that is all 7 crystals. So we have ourselves a little game to play.
Ooh.
This game is called the Big Key Guessing Game.
I feel really bad starting it, considering that he's not technically in go
mode yet. But get your guesses in chat between 1 and 22 on where you think that big key is going to be. Yeah, it's definitely weird to start it when you're not going.
How do we leave this going? Is it gonna go to Ganon's tower thinking that the hook shot's there? No.
It's always possible. No, this is the Big Fairy.
Ah.
So
I appreciate
there's so many locations.
Big Fairy. That's why I like Pyramid Fairy instead of what other people like to call it, because I don't think that's very nice.
The Pyramid Fairy? What's that?
Well, when somebody calls it Fat Fairy instead of like Pyramid Fairy, or when you say Big Fairy instead of that, I just mean that. Right.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Either way.
I don't know. I've always called it Big Fairy or the Pyramid Fairy. Either or. Fylion's gonna go and do a second dip here in Swamp now.
Yeah. Alright. So, what chest do you think it will be?
I'm always one to go with 7, but I always like a specific number 7. You'd get it by doing the 2 chests on the right, then the torch, and then it would be in that first group of 4 on the left. Other than
just
that,
the first chest, or do you pick a specific chest, like the left side or the right side?
You would start left on the bottom, and you'd do like the square to end on the bottom right.
Clockwise.
Yep.
Cool. Ooh, powder. Powder.
Those
helps.
3 bombs are now in logic.
Indeed. So, right. As far as finally, I was just looking for a fire rod, right?
Yes, that is true.
It seems flute really odd that he. But... Oh yeah, flute. Because he hasn't done.
Yeah.
Blacksmiths yet.
I mean, getting the Titan's Myth so late, I'm surprised that Fylion wouldn't go and check the Titan Myth locations. But at the same time, they started this dungeon, so I could agree with finishing it to get what could be here.
Right. It's purely because of the item density, or?
It could be, yeah. I mean, I think the blacksmith route would be favorable for item density with the Titan's Myths, but at the same time, there's a few things here on the back section, so. Ampharos getting dead rocked.
Happens to the best of us. Happens to all of us. Let's be honest. Everybody gets dead rocked.
Very true. It's always funny when it happens twice, and then they're wasting a lot more time. Alright, I fully expect the first chest in Hookshot Cave to be checked. Since passing right by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. There we go.
Opening it. Oh! Filing is the tempered off of Argus.
Interesting. Another sword. And there it is. The hookshot for Ampharos.
Ampharos is in go mode. What could he be looking for? Half magic? Or
another sword.
Nah.
I mean, if you're already here, I mean, tempered is a lot favorable over the master. Alright, off to Ganon's tower.
Fylion's gonna check Pyramid Fairy.
Fylion can get those 3 bombs without sequence breaking. Alright, quick, get your last few guesses in before it ends. And it's over. Alright. Here we go. Chest 1, half magic.
Wow.
Chest 2, small key.
Aw,
You say its
man.
name and it shows up. Oh, gambling left. Interesting. I notice a lot of people, when they get a small key in that room, they decide to go right. The torch being 3 is the bombs. I think that torch should not exist, because I think it would explode. But, you never know.
So Phylion's heading towards Kakariko. He'll probably switch to Village of Outcasts and do blacksmith and find his flute at Hammer Pegs.
Alright. So, chest 7 ended up being the ice rod. So, at least for Fylion, Turtle Rock is not happening. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the
thankfully.
dungeon could, but at the same time, needing the fire rod to go.
Alright. What chest are we on right now?
8.
10?
8. So, the next one will be 9. So I'm already wrong. So what happens when you choose a low number is you don't get to anticipate it. Just 9 is a small key. Fylion gonna get their flute here.
Which will then lead to the fire rod in the mire shed.
Chest number 12 is our big key.
Wow.
So not too high, not too low, and up the tower.
What?
I think
Wait.
you broke everything.
No, that's not fair. Because I said key 12. Can I undo? So I said 12. That's not fair. Yeah,
I think it broke.
bot glitched.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure we will have an admin look at this. I'm pretty sure it's able to be manually entered, so...
Yeah. I won't save that stat. Nobody, Nif Boy is our tracker. Thank you, by the way, Nif Boy, for being an awesome tracker. Don't do the save.
Alright, so there was one, because I put in the thing, so it was Julicent, I think it says. That was
Julius.
guessed 11.
The first person to guess that close?
Yes, they guessed 11.
Okay.
But then the unfortunates happened.
Yeah.
Oh well. Alright, congratulations on your win. We will sort it out. And as I look back, Ampharos is already done with the gauntlet and now doing an amazing land molas too. Alright. I think these wizard rooms are some of my favorites. They're just really quick, especially the second one. If you're to get the block placement on the first try, makes it a very fast room. And there's a fire rod for fylion.
Go mode, fylion.
Only a few more dungeons left to go, and they will be on their way to Ganon's Tower as well. Yeah, I 100% agree with Ampharos on opening up these last few chests. There could be a sword in them, so it would be a lot better than Master Sword.
Let's see how he does against Moldorm 2.
Right, so 3 spin slashes or 3 hammer hits will do the trick here. And you want to avoid poking the tail, otherwise you'll probably get an enraged phase. But there we go. Very easily done.
Nicely done. fylion heading towards Lunmolus.
And Moldorm only holding a heart piece, so no sword today. Looks like
So we'll see some Master Sword strats from Ampharos.
Yep. Quite a lot of spin slashes.
What is it, like 12 for the first 2 rounds and then
Yeah.
48 for phase 4?
Well, with silver arrows it'll only be 4, but it's
true.
a lot. Yeah, it'll be the 24 to get past the first 2 phases combined, and then 4 in phase 3, which isn't too bad. And with some good geometry. Aghanim's down already.
Yeah, with that 1, 2, 3.
I completely missed.
1, 1, 2,
1, 2, 2, 1.
Ah. So fylion picked up his Desert Palace crystal, heading into Mire now, and then still has to swing by and swoop up Mothula in his magical little net. Vitor, please make it happen. I'm gonna start a petition.
Let us pocket the bug and take it elsewhere. Let it see the world instead of being inside this like dark forest. A few more few more spins, I should say, and we'll be on to phase 2 here. Using the wall nicely here.
Phase 2.
Probably the scariest phase of the fight with doing Master Sword, I'd say.
I hate these bats so much.
All the pros just make it look so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, barely got hit. Unfortunate.
Still has a good health goal, so nothing to be too worried about yet.
Alright. So I think that's it for this phase, maybe? I'm not sure. Ampharos backed off, so yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Alright.
Aw, unlucky.
Now he has to hit Ganon before he does the Fire Bat Spiral for it to activate the Flora dropping sequence.
Right.
And pretty good teleports so far.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some very bad ones.
That was like a single teleport per run. Gets the torch glitch.
Gets a
First
single
arrow.
shot in.
Set up for
No, I don't think there would be quite enough time with being bonked back that far, but
yeah.
you never know. Oh, barely misses the double there.
Ooh, got hit by a fire bat that time.
Oh, there we go.
There it goes.
Hey,
AmazingAmpharos finishing the race. First place with a SRTV time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, 34 seconds. fylion is still in the hunt for his big key here in Misery Mire. And we should be joined shortly by AmazingAmpharos.
Alright, fylion looking for that big key, which is in the next chest here. And we're joined by AmazingAmpharos. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
What did you think of that seed?
Well, I was thinking real hard about that hook shot the further and further I went. Because I can't hover at all. And it was very, very low on places in logic it could be.
That's very true.
Like, I don't know if everyone fully understood this, because, you know, at first you might be thinking, well, GT has a ton of chests, isn't hookshot probably in GT? But because of how GT key logic is, it's really hard for hookshot to land in there, because keys are placed before progression items, and if a couple of them are put in the Stalfos room, almost the entire dungeon is logically hookshot blocked.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, we actually saw fylion do that first chest quite a while before you did, and then you had 2 dungeons left at that point, so your options were full clear them because you don't have hookshot. But at the same time, whenever you were to go to Gannis Tower, it's on the way, so there'd be no way you'd like not check that.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting there too, because, you know, I found both items in Mire before the big key anyway. There was literally no decision there. And in Ice, I was able to conclude that that right wing had to be logically hookshot blocked, so at least I could skip it. If I was feeling a little more bold, I would have skipped the Ice Tea room, but I don't know. I had an inkling that maybe I was ahead. Phylion's already told me in, you know, the runner chat that he skipped the Mitts chest, and he didn't at the time, of course, but I thought maybe he would have when I found the Mitts.
Yeah, he did choose to not go back into Hera at the end, and you guys were almost synced in Ice Palace, but he had the hook shot at that time, so.
Yeah, there's a few minor differences. But overall, it was a nice performance on your half, taking down fylion now, and moving on to the next stage of the brackets.
Is there anybody you're looking forward to potentially getting matched up to, or anyone you're not looking forward to getting matched up with?
I mean, my next matchup's already decided, is to my knowledge, isn't it?
I believe so, with the way it works for brackets.
Actually, brackets. You're going against Bentos Man. I remember now. Dun, dun, dun! I saw him in chat. I wonder how he's feeling having to go up against you.
I don't know. Hopefully he was intimidated. I honestly felt really good about how I played this seed. Like, I did almost full clear. I could have been a little more bold at times, but it was a low sword seed. I felt good about most of my combat, and
yeah,
I felt like even though sometimes I drug out routes longer than I had to, almost every direction I went, somewhere on the path was something I needed. You know, like that North Dark World route getting Quake, I could have cut it off at Quake, but I didn't need to go up there at all.
You did remember to pick up your first sword right after you got Mitts and Mirror and everything, so you didn't have to worry about going into Skull Woods, not being able to full clear it, especially after you find Fire Rod.
Did Fylion not pick up the sword at the first convenience after he had boots?
He got it at about an hour and 4 minutes in, I think it was.
Because I think the thing is that he was planning on routing in Blacksmith and Mirror to Library at that point, and he hadn't found Mitts because they were in Hera. So I think logically, like, the way that I expect he was thinking about it made sense in the fact that he didn't have Mitts, so he could tie in Blacksmith with Library, with Hammer Pegs, with Purple Chest.
There was actually a little bit of bad routing there on my part, because you probably noticed I did fake powder right away and then went to Dark World and did all that nonsense. The reason I did it was for the magic refill, but if I'd really been thinking about that sword a little harder, I would have just not worried about it and used Thieves Town for the magic refill. But I was kind of preparing myself for Samaria blind, and I was like, wait, this is dumb, I'll have a sword.
That's true. I don't know, I found no fault in doing one before the other.
Yeah.
At that point, I almost feel it's personal preference, but you never know.
Yeah, and Fylion did do Hammer Strats blind before you did Fighter Sword blind. So, you know, I mean, there's a back and forth to everything. I'm just really surprised that he didn't think about checking Hera, but, you know, gambles are gambles.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like with Hera, it's pinned in Hera. Hera's only 2 items. In V29, it's not as good to rush dungeons, especially ones with low item counts like Hera.
Right.
Not only low item counts, but low item count and only 1 small key, so the algorithm's even more against Hera. And, like, that basement is so lengthy. I considered skipping Hera, but, you know, at every step it was just tantalizing enough. You know, I would have left immediately if the big key had been in the basement, but then it wasn't, and I went upstairs. And then it was a guaranteed item in the basement, which was just enough to draw me in.
Well, by the time you get the small key, well, actually, just to make a quick note, Fylion is finally in go mode. He's heading to Ganon's Tower now. He'll be entering shortly. But I posed a question to Cursed Aether and chat, strictly because you find that small key in Hera, and then you open the big chest and you find the compass, I believe. So at that point, you're 50-50% chance that Moldorm has an item or the basement has an item. What is it? Is there something in logic that says that bosses have a better chance of holding an item than potentially not fighting Moldorm and doing basement on the chance that you'll get an item?
There's no logical difference between the two. In fact, all 3 spots, Big Chest, Moldorm, and the basement, are equal probability. There's 2 reasons to fight Moldorm first.
The pendant being one.
Well, not even the pendant. I should have honestly jumped down and not taken the pendant, because Turtle Rock was a pendant, and the scenarios are obscure that I would have needed it at that point. But the first factor is that Moldorm is honestly faster than the basement. Like, I can kill Moldorm faster than I can wait on those tiles.
Right.
And the second reason is that if you leave, go to the basement, and that's not the item, you have to climb all the way back up the tower, whereas you're already right there for Moldorm.
Yeah, that's the scenario I had posed, is that you've now left and have to go back up if it so happens to not be what you need.
And it looks like Fylion is making the right side play almost, well, up until he grabs that small key in the elevator hallway, and now heading left. So he'll be picking up his key shortly.
Did Fylion do the front of Swamp out of curiosity?
Yes.
Fylion did all of Swamp.
Yes.
Ooh.
As soon as he got the hook shot, he went back.
There was
a sword
tempered
on
sword.
Argon. Yeah.
Because I was really starting to wonder, like, where could Ether be? Because Ether blocked Turtle Rock. I never found it. I was operating under the assumption both remaining swords were in TR, but,
Yeah.
you know, I was going through so many scenarios going up there. Like, I'll go into GT, I'll do what I can here, and I expected to not have Hookshot, go in GT, find Ether, and go into Turtle Rock for Hookshot.
Yeah, definitely a possibility that could have played out. Yeah, fylion ended up going into Swamp, getting Hook locked out of it, going up the mountain, finding Hook, and then going back.
Ooh, that hurts.
After Ice Palace, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, at least he got a sword out of it, because this was a really sword-poor seed. You had the one in the library, wasn't too bad, boots were in Hype Cave. And then you had the one in Ice Palace that it would have been very hard to be in a hurry to go to Ice Palace without the hook shot. So you were probably going to do most of the seed with fighters or barehanded, you know?
Yep. And like we said, as soon as fylion got hooked, he went straight for Ice Palace, and then got his Master Sword, and then went to Swamp Palace and got his Tempered Sword. So, and he just picked up the big key, so he'll be mirroring and heading up the gauntlet shortly.
All right. Do you have any thoughts on this seed as a whole?
I guess I have one thought about the series as a whole I would like to point out is that in all 3 of my races with fylion, I did not do CAC first. In 2 of them, it really paid off, so I'm really happy about that. The seed as a whole was a good seed. It stuff was nice and spread out, and it didn't give swords. A fun time for all, right?
Yeah.
Definitely fun for all the viewers.
We did notice the difference, especially in this race, because how early Mir and Bo were in Kakariko. That fylion was the first to enter and finish up Eastern Palace, but he did not get a bomb in Escape, so he didn't have silvers. So you guys kind of almost made up a little bit of time there.
Yeah, the thing that made me feel really good about Southern Shore here is that my very first move toward CAC was digging up the glove.
Yes, that did make a good amount of time up.
But yeah, thanks a lot for commentating. Thanks to the restream. I'll let fylion finish up. Of course, he's finished in real time, but the delay factor. And I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, thank you again for running, and congratulations on your move to brackets too. Hopefully you get some good luck.
Yeah, good luck on your next series.
Thanks a bunch. Have a good one.
All right, fylion tackling this gauntlet. Almost done with it.
All right, now he'll be heading through towards Landmolus.
Only 4 arrows left. Opting to use them. Nice, 3 shots.
Really
Beautiful.
great first phase, single phase Landmolus too. He can pick up a couple arrows shortly.
I don't remember where there's arrows. I know there is some up here.
I thought there was some.
Oh,
well,
there's 10 right there.
Only he had a boomerang. Just kidding. But I thought there was one in one of those pots right there in that room, which is why I kind of paused. I was like,
I think so.
At least a group of 5, but
All we need is 4, but 5 is definitely nice.
5 is nice. Ice is not in Myershed.
What about ice in Marshed? The Feis?
Remember the Feis Rod?
The Feis Rod. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, finishing up the fire rod rooms here.
Fylion's also going to open up a few more chests here. Of course, there is another sword in play.
Yep. I think there's some arrows in this this room.
That is definitely possible. There is a lot of skulls here, so... There we go.
At least 5. Fills up his magic, and off to Moldorm 2 we go. Is he gonna switch to hookshot before? He's probably not thinking about it.
Oh well. 2 nice spin slashes, down goes Moldorm. Skips out on the last chest, has enough arrows, gonna use those. I think it was almost like opening the chest for a sword just in case you don't find arrows. Making it a little bit easier for Ganon, I'd say.
The only other thing that I could think of is potentially picking up a heart piece to fill up his health without having to powder the fairies and taking some time to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. The save of doing another menu.
So we got 111 so far.
They're all on different
yeah, this is really awful.
Now.
At least he's got 1 hit every time.
That's very true. Oh,
there we go. That double fixed that. Aww.
Nice big heart on the screen.
Multiples.
Alright, now on to the pig roast.
Fylion gets all the hearts, because he gives all the hearts. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
You know who doesn't get hearts? Ganon.
No! He gets negative hearts, like...
he's pretty grumpy.
That was a nice first round setup. With Tempered, that made it quick. Second phase, right away. Now we're entering into third phase.
Utilizing the hookshot there, dodge some bats.
Ooh.
Playing with fire a little bit.
A little bit more than a little.
Drinks the blue potion. Nice refill.
Nice.
One more hit and we'll be on to phase 4.
Thankfully, we got short teleports this time. Alright. Did you find the arrows in Hyrule Castle? Misses the torch glitch, but... Oh, so short from that triple.
Very close on that triple.
GG, Fylion. GG. What a way to go out. An amazing job by an amazing player.
Alright, Fylion coming in with an SRTV time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Get your GG's hat. We will get him into Discord for an interview. Welcome, Fylion and GG.
Hello, thank you.
Very well played.
Yeah, I'll take my execution on this seed. I'll take the gamble I made. It obviously caused me a bunch of huge problems, but I kind of got up to the end of Hera. I said, you know what, Moon Pearl's probably on East Death Mountain. I felt comfortable with that, and I knew that Moon Pearl was going to open up basically the rest of the game. So I figured, surely there would be some form of progression in the rest of the game.
I
Oops.
mean, technically, with all of that logic, you weren't wrong. You just left the one thing that was pretty important to the rest of the logic out.
Yeah, and
Yes.
that's how it goes.
You know, Moon Pearl was in Paradox Cave, and there was a whole lot of other progression throughout the rest of the game, but damn Titan's mitts, man. That basement, though.
I think the main issue was that like you didn't get stopped in your tracks earlier because you just kept finding more and more things that would help you like continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That definitely didn't help.
You did go, I think, the way that logic wanted you to go. Unfortunately for you, not finding a bomb in Escape didn't hurt you. You know, I mean, there wasn't really anything back there.
I mean, it slowed me. So it slowed me down in
Because you had
Eastern
to go
Palace,
back and
but
check.
beyond that, nothing terrible. The funnier thing was that both lift upgrades in this seed were in the last possible location I could check.
That you did check, not that you could check.
No, like when I went and got gloves from the Haunted Grove, I had no other options I could do. When I went back up to Tower of Hera, that
Right.
was the last possible thing I could do. So I got bottlenecked hard around the 2 lift upgrades. The second one
Go ahead.
second one by my gamble, kind of by my own design, and the first one just because I ended up putting off South Shore, and that was because I couldn't find enough rupees that I was happy going up to Zora, and that's where I was getting a read that things would be.
Yeah, I mean, when you're blessed with the option of doing like Eastern early too, like doing that and getting out of the way, you get 3 easy items too. So yeah,
Right, that's
that
what
would
I
definitely
meant by
put off like a few locations for a bit.
logic pointed you towards Eastern because you got Lamp from the Thieves' Hideout and you got Bow from the Well. That Eastern obviously seemed like a good early play. I don't really feel like technically in the shovel being in Mini Moldorm and digging the first pair of gloves up from the Grove was necessarily a bad play or something that you really missed.
I
Because-
mean, that's potentially true. Obviously, I haven't seen the race back, so I don't know how far apart were we when we did Hera.
Not far at all. I would say.
No.
A few minutes, I would say, if that, seconds.
Okay, yeah. Because I thought of the very real possibility that he didn't muck around trying to do things like Zora, and just kind of beeline for the tower. And so I was feeling behind when I found the mitts. The gloves. Because I had done things like Agina's Cave, which you have no reason to do if you got the mitts. The gloves that early in the seed. I cannot get my lift upgrades straight.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, when you don't have boots to get there quickly or the flute to get there quickly, it's just such a one-off location.
I even commented saying that after I do Moat, I always go and check Desert and Agina's, even without boots, for no reason other than I just don't want that question in my mind. But I'm pretty sure by the time that you were going up to do Desert or Death Mountain, that he was going through and doing Eastern Palace and stuff. So you guys were almost on par because he did South Shore early and Kakariko late. So
Yeah, well, I'm starting to think that maybe going South Shore isn't a terrible idea. I know AA is going to be doing that for the rest of the tournament, so at the risk of starting a giant meta mind game wine in front of me scenario, if you're playing against AA, consider the South Shore.
Definitely a possibility.
But
Yep.
yeah, overall, I'm not too disappointed with how I played.
You should know that you found Hookshot before Ampharos did. So.
That's nice. Unfortunately, it drove me back into Swamp Palace, which was again this calculated gamble of, well, I know Mitt's put me behind, so let's hope that something required is in the back of Swamp. And if it had turned out there was, I felt like I was still in the game. There wasn't.
Well, I mean, the sword being an ice palace probably was the thing that opened that up, because you got the tempered sword from Argus. But if you guys hadn't found the Master Sword in Ice Palace, he could have been hunting for that a little bit more. That might have made up some time since you got the tempered from Argus. That could be potentially the only thing. So
yeah. I mean, there were a few things that could have gone differently, but ultimately I got one game off against AmazingAmpharos, and I'll take that. My goal was to hit brackets, so getting a win against AA, who I'm expecting will go far in the tournament, I can live with that.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts on the seed or the series as a whole?
No. I think that about does it.
All right, and with that, I'd like everyone to hit these runners up with a follow. They did a fantastic job with these 3 races, pushing it to the absolute limit, I would say. If you'd like to support us, our links are also in the chat. And if you like Rando, want to see more Rando, hit up Speed Gaming 1 through 6, as well as ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. Tons of things going on for the rest of the tournament. As for Rando right now, there is a few things going on. There is a race, unless that hasn't happened. F. Coughlin versus Zyrak. I'm not sure if they're actually in a Game 3 or not.
It
that
is
on the list.
currently ongoing, yes.
Right, and then in about an hour, there is one between In the Name of DT versus ACML Lem, if that goes to Game 3 as well.
Yeah, potentially not on the books. I haven't actually checked to see if one or the other has won yet, and that should be a really hype match if they tie. So
very true. So make sure you check all that out. I'd like to thank Nifboy for tracking, as well as Miss Metroid for commentating with me. And once again, thank you for both runners. Fantastic show.
Yep, make sure you hop over to their channels and follow them, because they always do lots of Link to the Past or Zelda randomizers, and they're great to watch all the time.
All right, have a wonderful night, everyone.
Thank you to Speed Gaming. Thank you to Link to the Past randomizer channels. Thank you to chat. Love you all. Have a great evening.